Dear boomers, oftentimes boomers are blamed for a lot of problems in society today. And let me go over some of these things. It's crazy that we would be blamed for these things. I think a lot of times we're scapegoats. The boomers are scapegoats in American society. So the first thing I'm going to discuss is retirement savings inadequacy. Not to mention that everything's more expensive, and then they blame us for Social Security, being strained on Social Security because of us, because we don't have enough funds to retire. So a lot of people don't retire. They just simply march on in jobs that they hate. They can't adapt to the technology of the job. And the safety nets that are there have been there for us, may not be there for the younger generations, which is why people are mad at us for that. And really, Social Security can be preserved for everybody. Medicare, healthcare should be preserved for everybody. As if there isn't enough money and there isn't enough resources, when really everything is infinite. There is enough for everybody. Another one is technological adaptability. And I'll have to say, technology today and this very day has been quite a challenge because I'm wrestling with my retirement company that I had for 10 years. And of course, some is my responsibility because I don't have the technological skill that they want me to have. First of all, my printer isn't working. All I have to do is go out and buy some ink, and I don't feel like going out and buying ink today. So the point is that I worked it out that they're going to send me a form and I'm going to sign it. I've always been very stubborn about my name. For instance, when I got married, I didn't want to take the name Kathleen Harner, which was my husband's name. And I wanted to keep my name Kate Loving Shank, which is a name that I still cling to. Well, about 3 years into our marriage, we were married about 36 years, when Tom died of COVID. What happened was that I wanted to keep my name, and actually, the IRS said that if I didn't change my name to Harner, that they would make me pay for they would make me pay for the IRS, and he would have to pay the IRS, meaning they forced me to change my name to Kathleen Loving Harner. Now, I find that to be discriminatory. I find it to be discriminating against people who want to not necessarily stand in the shadow of their husband. And I don't think they would get away with that today. In fact, I didn't do anything about it. I didn't, scream about it because something told me to be nice to them. It's always nice to be nice to the IRS. That's the other thing, that maybe it's not a good idea to start screaming at them. So then we have the idea that we are being blamed for the climate catastrophe. Now, why are we being blamed for that? Because the environmental degradation is due to policies and practices prevalent during our prime working years. And I know that we really did not grab the bull by the horns and try to do stuff. All my friends did. But in general, this was something that wasn't really pursued as strategically as you would hope in our generation. First of all, our generation, and even people who are a little older than the boomers, we were experimental people. We changed the world during the 1960s and the 1950s, but I'm talking about the marijuana, and also the sex revolution, birth control, abortion. And now, of course, the right wing would like to take those things away from younger women. You can't blame us for that. And we're fighting all we can for you wonderful women out there, the women who are pregnant in red states and going along having a wonderful pregnancy, when suddenly their water breaks say at 15, 16 weeks, and the medical establishment has their hands tied. They can't go in and extract the baby. I don't like that wording, but they can't perform an abortion. A medical abortion, a kind of situation that is important for the mother's life. And I just heard of a situation where a woman went through this kind of thing, and she had to go into the hospital twice with sepsis, and she almost died twice, and now she's probably not able to be pregnant again. I don't know if this was her first pregnancy, or it doesn't matter. The fact that she has her choice, the choice to have babies taken away from her in this scenario, is what is going on. And we, as boomers, fought for the right of women to make their own choices. And we fought for the right of people to have their own privacy. So you can't blame us for any of this. I mean, we experimented with all kinds of stuff. We changed society so that now suddenly we're the ones to blame for this stuff. Oh, come on, give me a break. Now, another thing is the housing market is blamed. The problems with the house, you would say, the lack of housing is blamed on us, not on Wall Street, not on the billionaires, right? But on us, because we're living longer and we're living in these homes that if we would die younger, that we would have these homes on the market. Well, that's very, very annoying, if not absolutely insulting. So I believe the reason for the housing crisis has nothing to do with the boomers. It has to do with the 1% that has all the money. And they have a firm grasp on it, and they're not sharing with anybody. That is so ridiculous. So, I mean, I do live here alone, and I enjoy being alone. And I probably should take some people here to take care of. And I don't think I will. I mean, I just enjoy my privacy. I enjoy the first time in my life that I have actually been alone. And I love being alone. And I'm not lonely except for the height of the eclipse. Okay. So now they're saying that we are so conservative, that we're the conservative ones in light of sexuality and people having gender dysphoria and changing their sexes, that we are conservative. We are not conservative. I have been totally open-minded about people's choice, about whether they want or don't want a sex change, or whether and we were at the forefront of the civil rights movement. Why would we think that there's anything wrong with interracial marriage? And may I say that my name is Kate Loving Shank. My middle name, Loving, is at the heart of the lawsuit that the NAACP took on to make interracial marriage legal. So this is in my whole ancestral being. I believe that anybody should marry whoever they want to get married to. And to blame boomers for cultural not going with the flow about what is culturally acceptable with the younger people, that we're the ones holding things up. We're the ones that created the opportunities for all of this stuff to happen. So, I mean, social progress and cultural change can have meaningful debates. It's no reason to blame anybody for anything, although I kind of don't like being blamed for all this stuff. We were at the center, the revolutionary center for all the changes that are taking place in this country today. In the 1950s, I was raised in the 1950s. That was the most boring decade of anybody's lifetime, except I was raised by parents who were intellectually stimulating, and they were very open-minded, and we had an open door policy where people could come and go and hang out and drink coffee, and lots of coffee. And the 1950s was pretty boring, I mean, for most people. But for me, I had a lot of intellectual stimulation and a lot of free thought. My mother would talk about Aristotle and Plato around the dinner table. And it was, of course, I was a kind of kid that didn't eat anything. So I sat there longer than anybody, which in this day and age is not a good idea to do to children. I don't care. It's fine. It's in the past. It's over. But we had a great intellectual time in the 1950s, and then we got involved in the civil rights movement. My parents were involved in a local swimming pool suit to integrate the local swimming pools. So I may have mentioned before, I was shocked to realize that even with that kind of effort, things were not really changing as fast as I thought they should just change overnight. I still think things should change overnight. This thing with Trump dragging on and on and on, when he is somebody who should be in jail. As that's a controversial idea. I aspire to seeing him to go to jail for things I would have been in jail for long before this. He should be in jail for trying to destroy the Capitol, and he had a huge influence on goading these people on, and now they're all in jail and he's not. So okay, that was a little bit of a rant, but I must say that we need to have some debates that are loving debates. We need to love one another, even though people are kind of on the spectrum of craziness these days. I mean, one extreme to the other, and sometimes I think the pendulum has not swung back like it should to embrace ideas that harmonize the human race. So that's fun. That was fun. Please subscribe to my channel, and you can ring the notification bell for when I come on next, which is every day. I do not like to be, I have a lot of things going on, but I do not like to forget to make these videos. And when I do, I feel like, oh my God, I didn't accomplish anything. But when I do these videos, I feel great. So please subscribe, and I love you all. Bye-bye.